Hey Michigan foodies and beyond, Michigan Food Guy here, bringing you behind the scenes of Michigan's food scene. Today we are in our Henny Penny Test Kitchen with world famous chef Frank Honings, who came all the way from Europe to show up some of the favorite dishes found right here in the Mitten State. Chef Frank, what are we going to be featuring today in our Henny Penny Test Kitchen?
Well, I heard that Michigan is very famous for cherries, so in our Henny Penny Combi we're going to make a very juicy almond cherry cake with a crumble on top.
Awesome. Let's get the Henny Penny Combis fired up. In Michigan, one of the things that is a big resource to us and is very valuable are our cherries. Depending on the time of year and where you're at in the state of Michigan, you're going to find different cherry stands along every roadside. Specifically in Northwest Michigan. It's very cool. Something that I know a lot of people from Michigan, my family included, love to stop and get cherries. So today, can you walk us through exactly what we're going to be doing with some cherries?
We're a little bit at the end of the summer. We're going the autumn, so I wanted to combine the cherries with some almonds. Okay. So I softened up some butter here and softened up the almond paste with it. I'm going to add sugar, eggs, and flour like in a normal cake dough. I'm going to put that in a form, put cherries on top. What's going to happen is that when we're going to start baking that, because of the butter, that dough is going to get soft. So those cherries are going to sink into that dough.
Oh, nice.
But we have to crumble on top, and that's going to get nice, crispy, and golden brown.
Right.
So again, we need to work with a program that, first of all, cooks it, keeps it juicy, but in the end, makes it nice and crispy on top. I'm going to add some sugar here to the softened butter. We're going to whisk in the eggs one by one. Always crack them on the table, never on the side of your bowl. You might spill shells into your dough. You don't want that.
If you have any questions on anything we go over, whether it's the product that we use, the ingredients in the recipe, the equipment that we're utilizing in all of our videos, the Henny Penny equipment, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll get you the information needed.
Flour with some baking powder, and you see how easy this is. Now we're not gonna mix it too much because I don't want to get the air out of my egg butter mixture. So here we are.
Who needs a KitchenAid mixer when you got Chef Frank?
Well, this is easier to clean than the mixer.
True story. Been there.
So we take our form, spoon in. What I did is I sprayed it with some grease and then put some flour on it. That creates some kind of coating so it's not going to stick. What is important is not to push it too much to the side, because if it goes up the side it'll start burning and creates bitter flavors, of course. We don't want that. Okay, I'm gonna put some cherries on top here. I like a lot of fruity flavor, so we're gonna put a lot of cherries on top. Not too much of the juice, because that will really soften the dough. Yeah. Too much. And then I made a crumble with flour and almond flour. I'm just gonna put that on top.
Sprinkle it on. Even coating, right?
Well, not too even. It's nice if a cherry peeks through here and there.
There's beauty in imperfection. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Look at us, right?
All right. That's our cherry cake.
Cherry cake ready for the combi oven.
Yes. So I'm going to start with my first step, which will be combi steaming. We will work with a temperature of 340 degrees. Set a time 30 minutes and keep the humidity at 90%.
Okay.
By saturating the air with 90% humidity, it's just physics. There is hardly any room for evaporation, so all that water has to stay
in the product.
The dough.
Yeah.
That's my first step. But then, of course, the crumble needs to be nice and crispy on top. So I'm going to add a second program by scrolling up. Now I'm going to choose, from this menu, I'm going to choose the convection option. I'm going to set that to 360. We're going to do that for only 10 minutes. And of course, we want to have it crispy, so we're going to reduce humidity here to 30%. The only thing I got to do now is push start, What's going to happen when we push start? It's going into preheat. It's going to heat up 15% higher than the temperature we've set, because we need to overheat the oven compartment while loading. The hot air will escape, but by overheating all the stainless steel inside, we get a direct heat radiation when we close the door after loading it, and we start at approximately the right temperature.
Thermometer shows green. It advises you to please load the unit with the product.
So the only thing we do is open up, put the cake in, and close the door.
Voila.
Aaron, that's a signal. Our cake is ready.
Cake is ready, says the screen. Wow, that looks awesome. Oh.
Hey, can you see here? Nice crispy top layer. I'm gonna use a little knife to separate it from the sides.
Oh, wow.
Want to see the inside?
Let's see it. Wow. You can tell the moisture was just cutting through that. Wow. Very nice.
Can smell.
Smells like cherries.
And almonds.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Very juicy. Let's get a cup of coffee and try some.
Sounds good. Oh, cherry flavor is outstanding.
See?
Very good. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today. I'd like to thank Chef Frank Honings.
Pleasure as always, man.
Coming all the way from Europe. If you have any questions about anything we went over, the ingredients, the equipment we used, any of the procedures, please go to our website. And until next time, thanks. Have a good day.